Carlos Alcaraz reveals the date of his retirement from professional tennis. Spanish tennis player Carlos Alcaraz stated in an interview on El Partidazo de Cope that he does not see himself playing at 35 years old, an age that the three greatest legends of this sport, Rafa Nadal, Roger Federer, and Novak Djokovic, still active, surpassed on court. The Australian Open champion explained that tennis is very demanding mentally and physically. The speed of the ball has increased, the on-court demands, the calendar, characteristics that could affect his career in the long term. He also revealed the advice given to him by Swiss legend Roger Federer. "We try to take care of our bodies as much as possible, but as a great wise man," Federer said, "you can't think 15 years ahead, think 5 years ahead," he stated. In this sense, he confessed that he does not believe he will be able to develop his professional career for many years. "It's true that at 35 I don't see myself playing. Although maybe the moment will come and I'll still have more enthusiasm than ever and be motivated to keep playing for as long as my body allows," he said. Regarding his conquest in Australia, he admitted that he is happy to have his name among the 4 majors. "It was a strange Grand Slam for me. I always came after good pre-seasons, feeling physically very well, tennis-wise very well. And I had never been able to get past the quarterfinals. That gave me more desire, more motivation, more hunger," he explained. He also assured that in this tournament he learned to give value to things. "You have to stop for a moment and think about everything we are experiencing, enjoy it and give it value. Achieving the 4 Grand Slams, being the youngest," he said. "I hate losing more than I like winning," he added. "Do I think the effort for my dream was worth it? And the answer is yes. All the effort I've made has been worth it," he pointed out, before acknowledging how excited he was to see Rafa Nadal at the final in Melbourne. "Having Rafa watching, congratulating me and being happy for my triumphs, speaks to the good person he is," he said. Finally, Alcaraz wanted to highlight his second surname, Garcia. "I would have loved to carry my mother's surname, but Garcia is complicated to pronounce for foreigners. Obviously, my mother will always have the recognition she deserves," he concluded. Correia analyzes the role of Álvaro Alcaraz. The former 51-year-old tennis player, now a commentator in different media outlets, is an authoritative voice when it comes to current tennis affairs. Regarding Alcaraz's brother, Correia highlights that Álvaro already knows Carlos's working methodology. His brother has been part of the team for quite some time now. Within a group, in the end, what Carlos is doing is forming a solid core. He also had it with Juan Carlos, now Juan Carlos is not there, and what he's looking for is for each person to contribute certain things. Specifically, in Correia's eyes, Álvaro Alcaraz hits with him on many occasions and is also someone who knows him perfectly. He's someone who can help him get the most out of decisive moments, in everyday life. "Tennis isn't just about matches," reflects the former world number 2. "There are many hours at the hotel, in the room. You might be watching a series, or even if you're watching an opponent's match, your brother might make an observation that you might not feel like analyzing as much yourself," adds Alex Correia. The Catalan gives his personal opinion on Álvaro's new role. "I think it's good. Carlos trusts his brother. Álvaro is a guy who I believe is also prepared. Surely now it shocks us that he's not with Ferrero because the partnership worked and it was beautiful. At a Spanish level, Ferrero is very media friendly, very good, and he has proven to be a great coach, but I'm not worried because I know that what he is now in his team is capable of helping him continue winning," Correia concludes about Carlitos' new team. Unexpected change for Alcaraz after his victory in Australia. Carlos Alcaraz withdraws from Rotterdam after winning in Australia. Carlos Alcaraz will not be in Rotterdam. After the historic conquest of the Australian Open by defeating Novak Djokovic, the Spaniard has confirmed his withdrawal from the Netherlands next week and will not defend the title he won last year. A decision taken as a result of the intense effort in Melbourne, in order to take a few days of rest with Doha in mind. Carlos Alcaraz will not defend his title in Rotterdam. The Australian Open champion concluded that after the effort of the last 2 weeks, he needs more time before returning to action. "We wish Carlos a speedy recovery," explained the tournament organization, which will not feature the most influential tennis player of the moment due to several days in which he has suffered physical problems, dizziness, cramps, and even vomiting. Thus, the Mercian will not have to return to Europe to be in Rotterdam, a tournament that will also be played on indoor hard courts from February 9 to 15. Despite losing 500 ATP ranking points, Alcaraz will remain world number 1 thanks to the cushion he has over Jannik Sinner, specifically 3,350 points, 13,650 compared to 10,300. Carlos Alcaraz's path after pulling out of Rotterdam. With this decision, Carlos Alcaraz would not return until Doha, from February 16 to 21, and would then take on the first American swing of the season with his participation in the Masters 1000 tournaments at Indian Wells, from March 4 to 15, and Miami, from March 18 to 29. In the coming weeks, he would return in April to the clay courts with tournaments in Monte Carlo, Barcelona, Madrid, and Rome. After that would come the second Grand Slam of the year, Roland Garros, from May 24 to June 7, where he will defend the title he won in 2024 and 2025. With Rotterdam, Carlos Alcaraz has preferred to use it as a rest period and arrive in good condition for the upcoming events to continue defending the top spot, which he already holds with authority over the Italian. Carlos Alcaraz has once again made history by being crowned champion of the Australian Open 2026, adding a new Grand Slam to his impressive resume. The Mercian tennis player earned a prize of $4,150,000 Australian dollars, equivalent to €2,440,124. Although the economic prize announced in Australia is notable, what the tennis player actually takes home is different. It should be remembered that Carlos Alcaraz has his tax residence in Spain, which implies that he is obliged to declare in the personal income tax, IRPF, the income obtained both nationally and abroad. With these data, from the gross prize of €2.44 million, the estimated tax withholding would be around €1.1 million. This figure corresponds to the portion allocated to paying taxes in Spain for income earned outside the country. After deducting this withholding, the approximate net gain that Carlos Alcaraz would receive would be about €1.34 million. These figures illustrate how, even in the world of the highest paid sports, the tax impact is an important component to consider, especially when an athlete reaches the level of the great Grand Slam champions. After an intense battle in the final of the Australian Open 2026, Novak Djokovic could not hide his disappointment. With a calm face but an evidently affected heart, the Serbian confessed that this defeat tasted especially bitter. It was not just another final. It was his return to a decisive Grand Slam match after 3 years, and at 36 years old, he knew that this opportunity might not come again. "I was sharp, focused, and I started in a phenomenal way," he said, acknowledging that destiny gave him a chance. And this time it slipped away. The match, however, took an unexpected turn. Djokovic explained it without excuses, but with brutal honesty. Things changed, the energy faded, and control slipped through his fingers like water. Even so, he did not hesitate to congratulate Carlos Alcaraz for what he described as an extraordinary historic success. He accepted the will of a God who, according to his words, always knows what he is doing. Although he finds it difficult to open up completely, he assures that he is grateful for everything he is beyond tennis. Trying to understand what happened from the second set onward, Novak made a technical but also emotional analysis. He admitted that his serve lost consistency, that errors began to creep in, and that pressure affected him. He also revealed that there were health factors that influenced his performance and that this sudden drop in energy left him more frustrated than the result itself. What hurt him most was not being able to sustain the intensity he had shown at the start. And that first set, according to him, was among the best he has played in recent years. Everything was going perfectly, he was dominating, flowing, feeling the ball. But suddenly, as if an invisible shadow settled over his game, everything changed. "I simply couldn't anymore. I wasn't myself," he confessed. Despite everything, he is proud of the fight, the effort, of having given everything against the world number one. About Alcaraz, Djokovic did not spare praise. He said that facing him is both a pleasure and a challenge. He compared him to the best rivals he has had in his career and highlighted his ability to force you to bring out your best version. "For a set and a half I did," he recalled, "but then everything changed and he deserved to win." Words that, coming from Novak, weigh like a metal. Reflecting on the entire tournament, Novak also wanted to take away the positives. He recalled his 5-set victory over Jannik Sinner and how close he was to beating Alcaraz. He is disappointed, yes, but also satisfied with having gone so far. "I always believe that I can," he said, making it clear that the flame of ambition is still alive inside him. What bothered him most was not having taken advantage of the opportunity he had in the 4th set. With the crowd fully behind him, he had a crucial break point at 4-4, but a missed forehand changed the course. "1 or 2 shots can completely change the dynamics of the match," he lamented. And although he knows that thinking about the what-ifs is not very useful, he could not help those thoughts from circling in his mind after the match. Even so, he was not surprised by the overwhelming start he had. He knew Alcaraz well, his tactical intelligence and his ability to adapt. He knew that Carlos was going to change things and raise his level, and although he tried to do the same, his body did not respond in the same way. He regained energy in the 4th set, fought, came close. But it was not enough. "It was not destined for me to be champion this time. Djokovic also wanted to be fair about the path he had in this Australian Open. He thanked the conditions that allowed him to reach the final fresher, such as not having to play the fourth round. And although it is difficult for him to smile after such a defeat, he acknowledged that it was a fantastic tournament. "I took a step forward compared to last year's Grand Slams," he assured. But he immediately added that this step is still not enough for him. His desire to reach a 25th Grand Slam title remains intact. He says he has the belief, the confidence, and the vision to achieve it. He has lowered his expectations in recent years, and that has helped him deal with pressure. Curiously, now he finds it motivating not always to be the favorite. Beating Sinner, the defending champion, in 5 sets was a great personal victory. "But you're asking me this 10 minutes after losing a final," he said frankly, "so of course, I'm bitter." What he wants most now is to go home. To be surrounded by his loved ones, to hug his family. He knows how to handle these emotions. He has lived through many finals, has won many, lost others, and knows well the mental process that follows each battle. But nothing soothes like the warmth of home. Finally, he had very special words for Carlos Alcaraz. He called him a legend of tennis, someone who has already left an indelible mark at just 22 years old. He highlighted his character, his values, his family, and above all, his champion's mentality. Alcaraz does not settle, he always seeks to innovate and improve. He has the complete package, Novak concluded, humbly recognizing that this time, his best version was not enough against the Spanish phenomenon.